Hey! This is the reality of some of you that are living in the abroad. You are walking like a horse, and then somebody in Nigeria is riding you and collecting the small that you have. In their minds, you're earning pounds, you're earning dollars, so the currency is heavy enough for you to share it around the whole of Nigeria. But that is not just the reality of the case. You're taking care of yourself, you have your mother tasking you, your father tasking you, you have your siblings and your friends, and a lot of people are having expectations of you. It's not just 50,000 a year, it's not just 20,000. Why can't you just send me 10,000? After it's earning in millions when you convert it to Naira. But that's not how things work. In fact, you realize that if you want to help everybody, you wouldn't even have enough to sustain your own needs and your own bills. How do you navigate through black tax, especially as a person in diaspora? How do you navigate through the expectations that everyone has of you? This episode is for you, so stay tuned. Hello, my name is Victor Akan, and I would like to welcome you to my Breath of Hope podcast. In here, you find hope, you find inspiration, you find healing. Today, we are going to be walking you through how to escape black tax or minimize it. And specifically for people who are in the UK, in Canada, and all of these places earning heavy currencies, and you have people who are looking but droplets, forgetting that it is one drop that makes a bucket of water filled up. Okay, so if everyone's looking for a drop, sooner or later your bucket is going to be empty. And so we have come to say, you know what, how do you navigate through all of these things, black tax and all of those things, right? So if you're abroad, one of the first expectations is that everybody expects you to come in for them and all of those things. Very quick example. I have a classmate back in secondary school. After he was done with secondary school, he went abroad and he was a student, had to get into college, schooling, all of these things. And it was so tough for him that at a point, I think he was working 2 or 3 jobs and he had to be living in his car, right? I know he was working as a security guard somewhere, and he was also working, he was basically working 2 jobs actually, and he was sleeping in his car for most of the time, simply because it was just easier for him to navigate to and fro. And so there was this his friend that was always asking him for money, and he would give. One day he told the guy that, can't you just get any kind of job? The guy was saying there's no job. He said, get any kind of job, even if it's security work. The guy now said, God forbid, how can you be doing security work as big as he is? But he was begging somebody that was doing security work in the US for money. And so the guy was like, so me that I'm doing security work, am I a fool? That you come and collect my money? And so there was that, whole back and forth. But the point is that you're in a situation whereby it's not just your parents that are taxing you. Every single person who knows that you're abroad seems to think that you have a spare change somewhere. And so the real question now begs, how do you navigate these taxes? Okay? And first of all, let us first deal with some of the emotional effects it has on you. So for instance now, you have the whole fact that when a lot of people are calling you to ask you for money, you are feeling burnt out because you're trying to play a role you are never given. And the role is that of you are God, you are a savior, right? And this is where you just basically get to remember that, no let me die for the world, not Jesus. So I'm only going to do the part that I can do, and any part that is too much, I would not be able to. But then again, you have people who would come and say that, they will say that I am stingy, they will say this, they will say that. And this is where I say that if anybody is calling you stingy, then that is fine. You're an adult, like you're not a child. Like you don't need to get to that point in life where people's ideology or philosophy of you should affect you negatively. Why? Because you're not living for people's validation, in quote and unquote. You are not living for people's validation. And so one resultant effect of accepting the fact that you should not live for people's validation is that you would not care what people think. So it's okay for them to call you stingy. I'm stingy. It's fine, right? But you're not giving your money. For some people who are very soft, who love family, who love friends, who try to be there for everyone, it's very easy for people to make you feel guilty for not helping them, okay? Feel bad, which is where I go back to my initial point where you're not Jesus, right? Because a lot of times when you don't check your ability or your likelihood to feel guilty very easily when you're not able to help these people at their points of their various needs, is that you'll always have one or more people who will most likely try to emotionally blackmail and manipulate you. So for example, somebody will make you feel bad, or somebody will try to make you feel like, okay, you know what, let us I have this thing that I'm trying to do. If you don't give me this money, I might never achieve this dream, I might never achieve that dream. And they now begin to make you feel like, oh more, this guy does not help me, I'm finished. They put you in that position, that savior spot position. And because of things like that, some of them, will now begin to bring up suggestions, because they know that almost it's very easy to collect money from your hand. Bring up business ideas that you guys can partner in, bring up house projects for the family and all of those things. And you're sending money back home, they're sending you pictures of fake houses and all of these things. All of these manipulation tactics just to get money from you, simply because you trust easily and it's very easy for you to give out money. And so in a case like that, you realize that a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, the only reason why it is easy for them to scam you and collect money from you and all of this is because they know that they just need to bring up one urgent matter, and you're willing to bring up as much money as possible to save the day or to get into that business or investment. So you have to realize that if you're abroad, you're like a golden fish that is inside the water. Everybody wants to catch you. So you must limit access to yourself, as at least from the outside people. When I say outside people, I mean people who are not close family or friends. And you must surround yourself with people who would not take advantage of you. You must be very careful. Generally speaking, the only way to get rid of black tax, to be very honest, as long as you're abroad, there will always be some level of responsibility. In most cases, right? There will always be responsibility maybe towards your parents and all of those things. But the truth of the matter is that you should get to define what that level of responsibility is. I mean, if you have parents who can't take care of themselves, take care of them for their basic amenities. If you can help your siblings, help your siblings. If you can, they're not your primary responsibility, but if you can, please do. If you can help one or two close friends, if you can, please do. But the general guideline is that you define the threshold outside of your basic obligation to your family to ensure that they have all that they need for their necessary survival. Every other thing outside of that is more of a privilege and not a responsibility. So for instance, your mother is sick in the village, she cannot feed, it's your responsibility to send money back home. If not, you're not being irresponsible. But your mother needs to build a mansion and buy a car or fund a business. It is not your responsibility. It isn't. Now, of course, if you have the money, please do it. Okay? But what I'm trying to say is that try to put yourself through certain pain just to meet that obligation is not beneficial. Now, don't misjudge me. I'm not saying don't take care of your parents, your family, don't take care of your parents. I'm saying that if you're in a position where you honestly cannot help a person, then don't help the person. You are not God. Okay? So put all of this in mind. Remember that you're not supposed to feel guilty, because feeling guilty is how it's made easy for you to be manipulated into giving. So remember that you're not Jesus. The moment you remember that you're not Jesus and you take yourself out of the savior spot, then it becomes easy to say no. Why? Because you genuinely cannot help. Okay? And try to keep your life a bit private. Try to limit access to yourself from the outside world. Try to not be loud about how much you're earning and all of those things, and I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, now if you have any more tips about how to minimize the whole black tax thing, especially if you're in the diaspora, please feel free to drop your comments. Now, again, I urge you to subscribe to my channel because I know I drop good stuff, I drop inspiring stuff, I drop stuff that will be beneficial to you. Okay, and all you have to do is just subscribe and like, and YouTube algorithm will put you within my favor. Okay, and this means that they would always push my content to you. So please do it to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next week. Bye.